Can I actually add something? I forgot.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. So I'm talking out of experience because I'm actually one of the networker. Then so when it comes to cybersecurity, so sometime like okay, we can actually we can actually post the video or just something very attractive. But our intention is just that okay, we wanted to get your credential like okay, the password, like all the things. So the moment you click, definitely we will be able to see all the things. Then there we are likely to hack your your Facebook account and all this one. So this is actually something that is very practical, especially especially to people who are working as engineers or networking engineers. So they know this trick very well. But for some of us, we don't know about this, so we can become the victim. Anytime the moment you see them online.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing those. Zahara, your hands up.
Good evening, everyone. Is it afternoon or good evening? Uh, I'll I'll talk little about protecting your personal like info. That comes with maybe using strong passwords, just not to get hacked. And the other thing is also when it comes to social media safety, you can also protect yourself. For example, not everything you see out there is safe. There are a lot of fake things. This is the world we live in, and you have to just be cautious. And it's not that you post everything. You see through before posting anything for your own safety or for the safety of others. But basically, it's good for the mental health because some of the people, like teenagers like us, we tend to you know get addicted to social media. It's let me talk over TikTok. I once was there. I was kind of addicted, but then I'm still struggling with it. So social media platforms like TikTok, you limit time for it so that you don't get addicted to it. Just like TikTok, most of you have been there too, I guess. So that's about protecting your mental health and a lot. I think that's what I can say little about the topic we're on today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those important inputs. Yes, Sarah, your hands up. Please proceed. Social media safety is all about protecting your privacy, personal information, mental well-being. Um, Social media has many benefits like communication, learning, businesses, promotion, entertainment, and networking. But it also comes with risks if not used carefully. Thanks for your contribution, and that's absolutely right. Right, so Samuel is not yet here, so I'll just proceed to share what I know about this topic. Now, whether we like it or not, the world has changed a lot. And many years ago, like people only knew how to do physical interactions, right? They knew us through how we spoke, how we dressed, how we behaved in school, church, community, or at work. But today, people can know something about you before they even meet you, right? And just take an example of this Build Your Best Self session. If somebody meets you somewhere and asks you, who is Brenda? Do you know her? All of you will have something to say about me, right? Is that right or wrong? All of you will have something to say about me, but you've never seen me before. I've not seen you before. We've never met, right? But we've been talking for the last 3 months. So you have an idea of who I am. And you have that kind of idea because of how I've been engaging with you online, right? And that is the power of social media. People already have an idea about who you are before they even meet you. Somebody can go online and search your name online, and they get all the data there is about you. They can check your Facebook profile. They look at your WhatsApp status. What kind of things do you put on your status? They can go through your TikTok videos and see what kind of things do you post there. They can visit your LinkedIn page and see what do you do with this, right? They can read your comments on other people's posts, your own post, your own photos, and even the things that you repost and share. So today is not only about social media as a place for fun, but talking about social media as a space that can either build you or break you. Because social media can open a lot of doors. It can connect you to mentors, to jobs, to scholarships, clients, opportunities, just like Art has mentioned somewhere. It can connect you to networks that you may never access physically. But at the same time, if you use it carelessly, it can expose you to scams. Somebody talked about scam, cyberbullying, harassment. It can also expose you to identity theft, reputation damage, some addiction. Zahara talked about being addicted to social media. Comparison, where you see other people's lavish life on social media and you think, yeah, me too. You start comparing your situation with theirs and you don't know their story. Right? So our focus for today should be very simple. How do you use social media wisely, safely, and intentionally? Everything about Build Your Best Self is intentionality, right? So every time I talk about anything at all, I bring out the word intentionally because anything that you do with intention, that is what remains. But if you don't pay attention to anything and you want to do something because somebody says it, there is no intention behind it, you can't go far with whatever it is that you are doing. Let's see. Joanne, Jacqueline, you're welcome, and Ding. So I'm not the presenter for today. We have Samuel, and he's not here. That's why you don't see any slides or anything. We're just talking about the topic for today. And if he joins, that's okay. If he doesn't, hopefully we'll have an interactive session and be able to finish all through. So I had an opportunity for people to just say what they understand by safe social media use and also safety online. So I'm just sharing what I know in terms of social media use and safety. Social media is a tool. You can call it a knife. And just like a knife, you can use a knife to prepare food, right? And somebody eats and they're satisfied. But you can also use the same knife to harm someone. And you can also look at it as fire that you can use to cook food, and it can also at the same time burn down an entire building, right? In the same way, social media can help you build your future, but it can also damage your name if you do not use it wisely. And many of us today have found jobs, opportunities through social media. Some people have built businesses through social media. Some people have received scholarships, mentorships, speaking opportunities because of what they shared online. Others have built powerful communities, just like the Build Your Best Self community. It has been built through social media. And all of these have created meaningful impact. But at the same time, some people have lost jobs because of what they have posted. Some have been rejected by employers because of their social media activities. Some people have been scammed. Some people have been impersonated. Some people have been bullied, harassed. Some people have been exposed, mainly in terms of their private information that later worked against them. So the question for you should be, how should I use social media in a way that protects me, that positions me, and reflects the person I am becoming? That should be something that we should discuss about. I'm going to just write this question here, and I want one or two people to be able to answer. How should I use social media in a way that protects me, positions me, and reflects the person I am becoming? So that's the question I have. So let's have a discussion around that. Thanks, Tarif. Yes, they are both negative and positive side, but the positive side outweighs the negative sides if we use it the right way. So does anybody want to share how they intend to use, or how are you using social media right now in a way that is protecting you, that is selling your value, and that reflects your personal brand? Yes, Jacqueline.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. To me, I can use social media in a way that, let me say, improves on my being through observing the AI native. That is to say, observing what is to be done when you're online and what you're not supposed to do. For example, when I'm online, there are other things I do follow, things that I cannot do when I'm online. There are other things which represent yourself if you're posting them online or you're saying them online to people. You might think you're doing it for yourself, not knowing that things which are once posted, they are stored. And those things can be used for tracking you out, maybe by your employer or any other person who wants to find the details about yourself. So to me, you can use let me say, you can be online in this way by observing the AI etiquette. That is like when you're online, you should avoid responding to attacks. You should also avoid posting immoral things. And then you should also avoid harming people. So that is all I have to say for now. Just by using the AI method, I believe one will be able to use the network very well while offline. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for sharing that. And just to add on to what you've said is that one of the biggest mistakes that people make online is confusing visibility with oversharing, right? When we talk about visibility, it means allowing people to see your value, your growth, your skills, your journey, your thoughts, your work, and your potential. You are basically showcasing the things that you are good at, who you are, what you do. This is what you are showcasing. Oversharing, on the other hand, means exposing too much of your private life, emotions, conflict, relationship issues, personal matters in a way that may later harm your image or your peace, right? And there's a difference between being real and being careless. There's a difference between being authentic and exposing everything to the outside world. But you do not need to post every emotion out there. You do not need to announce every relationship. You don't need to explain every difficult conflict, respond to everything, right? To turn your private life into a public content, right? For many of us, we are trying to build our future. So we must understand that social media is part of our personal brand. And your personal brand is not only what you say about yourself, it is also what people observe about you. So when people visit your profile, what do they see? Someone thoughtful, someone respectful, someone teachable, someone growing, someone professional, all of these things. Or do they see drama, carelessness, offensive language, inappropriate things, right? Because often opportunities are connected to trust. So before somebody can trust you and recommend you, they'll have to have trust in you. Thanks, Samuel, for coming in. Please confirm that you're ready to start.
Yes,
So before
hello.
you post, yes, you ready?
Yes, sure.
Okay, please. You may proceed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brenda, and for those who really made it to join this session today. I really apologize for taking long. I was trying to fix technical issues with my computer. So, I actually connected twice, but it dropped me like almost twice. Without wasting time, I think with the remaining 1 hour, I think I can be able to deliver what we are meant to cover today. Without further ado, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining today's session. I know you guys have already been discussing, and I know you have covered much of what we are facing in this digital world that we are in. So we must have covered most of the things that I'm going to present here. So would kindly ask each one of you to just lend me your ears for this 1 hour. So before we begin the session, I would like you to think about something very simple, but yet very powerful, okay? Because I normally like it when I put it in form of reflections and also in a scenario based, because when we look into our life, when we reflect on what we are so far into, I think it will make us understand more better. So every single click that we make online tell a story about us, you know. And every photo we upload, every comment we leave, every link we opened, and every message we send becomes part of our digital identity. Okay. So today's social media is no longer just a place for entertainment, okay, or communication. I'm telling you the truth. You know, as the technology evolves, also the bad guys, the people who always intend to do the bad thing for the people. So we have two categories of people in this digital world that we are in. We have the offenders and also the defenders. So in this generation that the AI has become really, really great in terms of everything that it does. It has really increased high rates of crime, cyber crimes, and also other forms of habits. So it has become really a space where reputations are built, like, and also opportunities, right? We normally see them, they're created, of course, online. Relationships are also formed. People also get to connect nowadays just based on, you know, social media kind of thing. Like you just meet somebody and there you connect. Okay. Unfortunately, where risk and dangers also exist, like in this social media, these are the things that we do face all the time. And I can tell you that we live in a world where everyone careless post and like can damage, you know, a career. One weak password, like I say, one weak password can expose personal information just because of your carelessness, you know, and all your personal information will be exposed. And one fake email can lead to financial loss or identity theft. Okay. At the same time, the internet remains just one of the greatest tools, right? Like for really, it has really remained one of the greatest tools for us to learn on YouTube, you know, on other platforms that we do have classes like what we are doing so far, right? Because we are online, that's why we are learning. So it has also become one way of also innovation, business. People do business these days online, and it helps them, you know, without being able to reach somewhere like a distance of a mile, but you can just make it within a second for you to sell your properties or your goods. You know, it's a global connection, in fact. So this means that digital responsibility is no longer optional, right? It's not longer optional. It's for everybody. We have to make awareness, right? For us, the technologies, we make sure we do awareness in terms of, because we do realize that the most vulnerable people, they are children and also those who have less literacy in digital, of which people ignore today, and they feel they're being excluded to this digital world, of which is, of course, it's not. It's really essential for everybody to know what's going on in these online tools that we use. So safe social media use and online safety are not only technical issues like for only IT professionals, okay? I gotta be honest with you. They're life skill that every student, every teacher, every employee, an entrepreneur, and a citizen must understand. Like, I'm sure this category of people I've just mentioned, we are all here to listen to this session today. And in any age where our lives are deeply connected to technology, protect ourselves, right? We always make sure we're protecting our lives online. It's just as important as we can also protect ourselves in a physical, like in this physical world. So today we will explore how to navigate the digital world wisely. That's the aim. How can we navigate this digital world that we are in? How can we use it responsibly? How can we be safe? Because there are bad guys out there, and people always have bad intentions in every platform or anywhere people have higher population. Let me put it that way. So we will discuss the digital footprint and privacy protection, cybersecurity, phishing emails, of which many people today fall into that trap, and also online reputation. People are being exposed, like, a lot of harassment on social media. And also going to talk about how can you react to this online reputation, like being your reputation is being down, and how can you react to like responsibly, and how can you communicate? And last but not least, also going to dive in how to protect our fundamentals. So the goal of this presentation today is not just to create fear, honestly, because as we shall dive deeper in, you are going to find yourself how you are really exposed to this world of internet or of digital. But to create, I want to make sure that we just want to create awareness, responsibility, confidence, because when we understand the risk, we become empowered to use technology safely and intelligently. So without further ado, let's continue with our presentation. I just want to give that kind of opening for us to continue with this session. So, like from our objectives already, we're gonna cover today most of what I've just aired out shortly. We're gonna dive in how understand the importance of online safety and responsible digital behavior. We should also cover how we can recognize the digital footprints, because we don't know how to navigate online, and also how can we go without being at our personal or professional lives being affected by what we do on social media or online. We can also understand how can apply privacy and security best practices. We can also dive in how can we identify scams. There are many tons of scams today in form of promotions, in form of messages, in form of podcasts that people do nowadays. You understand? So you can also maintain professional and personal boundary. How can you make sure we maintain that online, and also protect personal data and online reputation? And also we're gonna dive in how can we respond to online conflicts or challenges that we might face online, because all in our daily life we always come across such kind of scenarios. Last but not least, also dive in how can we develop that healthy digital habits for us to no longer at least for us to be safe there online for a longer period of time. Oh, now we understand that today we're covering social media safety and how we can be online safely. We do know that we have tons of social media platforms that we use today. So what do we really mean when we talk of social media? So basically, it's just, these are platforms that we normally we use for us to, to create to extend and also allow communication for us to share, and also share our own ideas. We can share some files, through social media. We all know, and I'm quite sure that most of you guys use these platforms that are already on my screen. You can see from the first one, of which 6 million nowadays are on Facebook, and much more than that, I think. So we use Facebook, we use Instagram, TikTok, X, and all the kind of platform. So that's basically about social media that we normally use in our daily lives. So let's come to benefit, why people use social media. Okay, we're gonna dive into this, but I really want to make sure that we are also interacting, because the more we interact, the more I get to know how far we are coming with this learning. So just based on your own understanding, I just want two people just to mention anything. I know you guys have been talking before. You might have shared why you are being on social media. Like, what's the purpose? Why do you use Facebook? Why do you WhatsApp? Because I need two people just to mention just a little answer. Why do you use social media? I can't see your hand there, but Brenda, if there's anybody, you can give me the chance to. Why do you use Facebook today? Why are you on social media? One person will be enough also. Like, why are you on Facebook? there's a hand, please. You just feel free to share. Basically, why do you use social media? Feel free to interact, okay?
In the comment section,
Okay.
Atta is saying for communication and promotions too.
Okay. Thank you, Atta, for sharing that. I know most of you would also say the same, because that's what's actually meant, like for us to be on social media, right? For us to communicate, to share messages, to share ideas on social media. But today it has become way much far than what young people are doing nowadays, right? We find it's a place for us to just share funds, do kind of sort of things, you understand? But in outer or maybe in other countries, it's just being used up. Like people do, they do create content, like they earn from it. They use social media in a best way for them to earn money. So from my screen, you can see like people get to connect, right? Globally, you from America, you are here in South Sudan, you'll be able to communicate freely within seconds, right? Also support us in learning, like on YouTube. Most people learn today on YouTube. Basically, you just being given course outline, you go on YouTube and you learn from there. Also, it provides like networking opportunities, right? Like LinkedIn that we have been introduced lately. Why do we use LinkedIn? Because it really provides us with the networking opportunities. Like you find a lot of nowadays, like opportunities are being shared online, right? So that's the one benefits of social media. It also promote business and careers. Very easy, right? You just share a post and it goes viral. It goes to places that you cannot reach within an hour or within a day, right? So it's also enables social activism, right? And also awareness. Most organizations, most figures and institutions, they use social media for such activities to. So it also encourages creativity and innovation. Like I mentioned earlier, people do create contents and they share them online and they get paid, by YouTube, TikTok, kind of things. Right? We also facilitate communication, of which that has mentioned already. We always find it easy for us to communicate via social media. Let's look at the risk of from what we can face today, what people are already into, right? People are facing these challenges on social media, as you can see. Improper use of social media may lead to such followings. So I'm sure most of you have encountered one of these risks that I'm going to dive into. So we have cybersecurity, cyberbullying, right? People nowadays do that a lot. And children and women really are into the one being affected by cyberbullying, right? You find people sharing photos, sharing videos that just to bully other people, just to get into them, and you understand. So it's really kind of people that social media brings in our life when we are not using it in a good way. People also use it nowadays in like identity theft, right? Most people especially the bad guys, let me say the hackers, it's a way of their living. They make a lot of money by hacking into somebody's system, by hacking somebody's information, and then they ask you to redeem. Like they do some ransomware onto your computer, and then it runs, and everything will be captured, and from the information. So online scam, of which we are facing nowadays, scams are mostly done through social media for promotion. You find people saying that I'm going to give you a lot of money, right? By clicking or maybe by sharing this information, and then they just scam you on that way. Privacy breaches, right? People get into information, they do the same just through social media. We also have emotional and mental stress. That's also one of the things that we find on social media. You will come across a post, right? That might lead you in such situation, being emotionally or maybe stressed, right? Also misinformation nowadays, which is really rampant, right? information are being shared, like you create your own information and then you share it. Within a second, it reaches like thousands of people within a minute, right? And that's what nowadays we face, financial fraud, not far from the scams, right? Just they go hand in hand. Talk of reputational damage, of course, when they hack your own information, personal information, they will use anything. Like for instance, imagine yourself, you're the boss of the company, and then your account is being hacked one morning, and you find pictures that have been shared, it just don't align with you, like pictures that does not even align with your profession. Like they will just do them intentionally, like for you to lose your reputation. Account hacking, of course, hackers do that a lot in banking. Social media, of course, they will use scams kind of conversation. They will ask for accounts detail in a way that they just lure you. Then you find yourself being, your account is being hacked. Data misuse, of course, of which people share information like they don't even intend to use them in a right way. You just post whatever you feel like to post, and there you've been social media that you are doing the right thing. So let's look at digital footprint awareness, right? When we talk of footprint, like it's just how we navigate, how we go on, how we browse, right, on social media. Like sometimes we create information, like over the internet. Whenever person like we use internet, like it's just the way how you go online. On top of footprint, there are kind of activities that you go like online, you browse. For instance, you navigate to websites, right? So there always that footprint or like a trail that hackers always use just to get your information. The more you don't use some kind of protective VPNs, because they always track your path, like the information that you visit online. So why it's very important for us to know what we navigate, what we go online whenever we were using the internet. Because the bad guys are always there waiting for us to go online, and that's where you will be hacked. So every activity online contributes to digital footprint. Okay, like social media posts that we make, they always give us that. Like, let me just put it this way: uh, most of the recruiters, right? Whenever you apply for a job, they always make sure they check your social media activity. That's why we talk of footprint. What do you normally visit? What do you create whenever you are online, whenever you are on internet, right? They also check the kind of comments that you also give out there on Facebook and TikTok. So are they positive? Are they negative? Also, the website you visit, okay, are they safer? Online purchases, right? We sometimes, like, I don't know in this country, but it's rare. Though people also use it, but it's rare. Many people don't purchase online because they're not much exposed to the internet. So people also do purchase online and also emails, right? We send emails, messages, we upload photos all the time, videos, but also do content creation, or also do podcast. So we also search histories for students when you're studying. And also we do share documents and via maybe WhatsApp or any means of a social media that we use today. Also, we do registration, of which nowadays common. People also do register. They don't have to go physically to go and do the registration or to admit to any university mostly. So we do these activities, right? But how do we navigate them? How do we go about them when we are online? That's why we need to be careful when we are visiting any or when we are doing any of the activities above. So mostly we have these activities. It's normally categorized into two: the footprints, or like how we navigate on internet. Sometimes we do actively navigate through the internet. Like we sometimes share information intentionally online. Like you go online, you type, share. That's being active now. Like when we talk of activeness, like it's a type of the footprint that we use. We also passively like share information, right? Like we do this one when like not directly, but we use them by other people, like other users through their awareness. That's how we also go to give the information or the data to on social media. So why do we really talk about footprint? Why does it matter for us to know, at least how we should navigate on internet? Why does it matter? Of course, we make sure that it will have to influence the job opportunities, because if we don't make sure of what we navigate online, it will affect us. It will make us lose opportunities that we are supposed to have. It also affect like college admission, right? It can do the same, because if you are not controlling how you go, how you search, how you browse on the internet, it can also affect you in that matter. So in other hands also, impact professional reputation, of course. I talked of earlier, when you not making sure of how we should manage your presence on online. So the result, of course, consider self professional, and then all information like the private kind of information that is supposed to office. Because in this in this technology, like the race of AI of nowadays, I can even be able to clone your own voice and send it to you. Like I just said your wife or maybe your husband. Like I just clone that voice and I send it to you, and there, you know, the information maybe I intended to receive, I will get it through that. So that's why it's really important for us to make sure that the trails of the information that we browse, or when we are using the internet, we have to be careful using internet. So also like be used by advertisers. Mostly we get ads on online, and hackers these days also make sure they dive into this ads, or maybe advertisement that are always appear on our screen as cookies. When you click on them, and then you find yourself that the activities that you are doing being hacked, right? So being also exploited by cybercrime, because if you don't know where to visit, you find yourself that you are going into a wrong website. You'll find yourself you are clicking a malicious link that can cost your computer, can damage the device, and be able to get all your information within a second, within just a click, because the bad guys are always there waiting for us when we are browsing. They're always available 24/7. So remaining online permanently, right? So we make sure that we have to use the right way for us to navigate, or on what we always make sure that whenever we are online, we make sure our activities that we do, they are safer, and they're things that can not affect us, our reputation in the future, or might not block us from opportunities that we might get. Employers, recruiters, students, and organization often review online, activities before making a decision. That's what they always do. So I would advise you always make sure whenever you're present on social media, present on Facebook, it has to be something that aligns with your professionality. You should not make things that you will regret one day. So let's look at the consequences of poor digital footprint. So if you are not wise enough, or maybe if you don't put this into consideration of you making or managing your footprints online on social media, what can it cost you, right? So one of which it can be offensive, like offensive post that we're surfing years later. Of course, you might have post, like I would encourage you, if you have a post right now that you might regret one day, make sure go and delete it, because it will affect you one day. Like I said earlier, most recruiters, employers will always make sure they check your background on social media nowadays. Leak privacy photos or messages, right? When you are handling social media in a bad way, your photos, your messages, they will definitely be leaked. Loss of employment opportunities, right? Just not far from when we use the offensive first, right? Because when you use them, they'll be used against you. So you will definitely lose an opportunity that's really meant for you. But because of what you post, it's only years back. So public embarrassment, of course, not far. It's also one really consequence that you can get when you are not using on like internet safely or in a good manner. So identity theft, of which is common. Talked of it earlier. People still nowadays online. That's very clear. Legal consequences. Yeah, also one of the consequences that we can face if we don't make sure of what we navigate online. Now, what can we do now for us to make sure that we are in the right path whenever we are on internet, whenever we are browsing online? So make sure that think before you post. Have you ever posted and then you regret what you posted after some time? Well, it's common, and because you just never gave it a chance for you to sleep over it, right? You never give a chance for you to think of, do you really need to post it? Sometimes you can just put it under schedule, because you can also post, you can create a post for a limited time, just kind of schedule it if you're not sure of it. And after when you think of it, you can go and delete it. So always make sure you think before you post anything online. Avoid sharing sensitive information. People nowadays do scams. They send you promotion, please. And what's honest thing about promotion is that, like, all the scams kind of promotions, they ask you like for urgency, like mostly they ask you for agency kind of thing, right? Like they need you to share your sensitive information. What are sensitive information we talk about? When we talk of sensitive information, it could be your password, like your login credentials, right? So make sure you don't share your password with anybody. Review privacy setting. I don't know how many of you like use Facebook, like they did private setting. Like if I be able to search you and maybe find your account, will I be able to see your profile? Most of our profiles that just open to anybody, like anybody can see our profile pictures, but you can do that kind of setting at least to regulate. So delete unused account. If you're not using any account no more, delete it, because it leads you, like it might cost you one day, right? So if you're not using it, make sure you delete that account that you're not using anymore. Use professional language online, right? Don't use vulgar language, like being so vulgar, like sharing information that can hurt somebody, use always things that can define who you are. You understand? When I talk who you are, of course, the good value about it is not the bad one. Okay, search your own name periodically, right? So always make sure that your name should be consistent on social media. Separate personal and professional content. Like for those who do content creation, right? because I'm sure that South Sudan is almost monetizing TikTok and also the rest of social media account, of which is going to be an opportunity for some of those for some of the people who do content creation. So what kind of contents do you create? Always make sure you create things that can align your professionality, right? If you're a comedian, of course, that's who you are, right? That's defined your talent that you're doing. But make sure anything that you do out there, you create what aligns to your profession or your personal value. So avoid posting when emotion or you're angry. Like you might have come across a post and you think maybe it's pinned on you. I don't know, maybe your ex or anybody, right? So like maybe somebody that you got in trouble with, and then you come across this post, and then you see it, and then you react, and you post immediately. So make sure you don't post whenever you are emotional or angry. Let's look at privacy setting and digital hygiene. So when we talk about privacy setting, like it's how you can make sure that your information, like your account details, or personal information, they're being undercover, like nobody have access to them. Understand? So when we talk of digital, of course, digital hygiene, it's a safe way of how we go online. Like how often do we go online? How do we handle when things on social media? Okay, so today in most of the platform that we use, we always make sure that the profile, like people make sure that the profile, it's always visible, like it's seen by anybody. Friend request, right? Make sure that the friends request, you don't have to accept anybody, right? Only people you know, but nowadays you just accept. Tagging permission, right? You, like your post is just open to anybody. Anybody can do anything with it because it's open. Always make sure you tag the permission. And then location sharing. You find yourself your telephone or your device, it's the location, it's open. So it's not supposed to be on whenever you are not using it. And then photo visibility. I talked of it earlier on Facebook accounts. How can you handle that setting? So you can do that, right? You can make sure that you do settings to your account that for it to keep it safer on social media. And also messaging information. Not anybody has to message you online. Data sharing preferences, right? So you make sure that you share the information that we are supposed to share, not anything, not our sensitive information to anybody. So the essential use of practices, like we talked of hygiene before. So I don't know most of how your passwords are, right? Let me just share something about like using a strong password, because nowadays we have tools like in cybersecurity, like the bad guys. Okay, they have tools that they can use to just within seconds they can break your password. So how can you make sure that your password is not weak? That's why we need to look into this. Always, passwords should always be long and unique. I know most people are always afraid, I might forget my password. Let me just put it something that I can remember. But it's better to forget than for you to be hacked, right? So always make sure your password has to be long and unique. When we talk of uniqueness, it's something that people cannot easily guess that, because people can guess passwords. Because I know most people do use birthdays, right? So, like other kind of thing, that simple thing people can really easily guess. Include like for your password to be strong, always it should be long. Include uppercase and lowercase letters. Include numbers, symbols, and avoid predictable information. Like I said before, avoid predictable information. Like what? Birth dates. People nowadays use birth dates, right? Like as password. They also use their phone numbers. They also use their real names. Simple combination like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You understand? Like those things can be easily, people can guess them. Like they can predict, and yeah, they can get easily. Let me just share you this, and Well, I want us to do this short activity. I want to see how many of you, like, how secure is your password. Then you will share with me, okay, in the chat. I want you to test password here. Here is a tool for you can also use, right? Like, you can test your password. How strong is your password? Let me share this in the chat. And then you try your password and then share it to me in the chat. Just click on this link. When you click on this link, it will you will navigate this website. When you go there, then try your password, and then you share to me how long can your password be, like to hackers. Because hackers, they also have tools that they can break your password within some time of period. There are tools that can break within 2 days. There are tools that can break within 1 hour, like even seconds, even years, right? So it's safe. Yeah, of course, it's safe. This website is safe. I made sure like it's safe. So just try and let me know. How long can your password be cracked by the bad guys? So just type a password and then it will show you from there. Has anybody tried? Let me try mine. See, mine is showing me like 32 million years for this password to be cracked. Means it's a strong one, right? So this kind of tools you can use whenever you want to set a password. Brenda, I think, yeah, Brenda is saying like 41 quadrillion years. That's really nice. Like, do you think a hacker will wait till that long for him to hack your password? I think he can even like how many generations actually? 41 quadrillion years. This is Malish. Malish is showing. Malish is 400 years. Kinda fair. 400 years. Okay. Okay. It should at least be a million. 400 years. Okay. I don't even think somebody. So let me see the third person, and then maybe we can proceed from there. This is Cecilia. Cecilia is not, it's still loading. Okay. 5 years. Yeah, it's kind of weak somehow. 5 years. That can easily be cracked. Okay. As we continue, you can keep dropping your how strong is your password. Okay. So let's look at multi-factor authentication. So when we talk of multi-factor authentication from my class, we know about this as like it's a kind of architecture, like a privacy architecture that can make sure that there's a privacy, like your confidential information, they always verified, like there has to be a verification before the access is granted to somebody, right? So there are many authentication. We have two-factor authentication. I don't know if many of you have ever come across that two-factor authentication on Facebook, right? It's two-factor authentication is where you, like when you log in on a different device, it will require you like to verify some code before you before the access is granted. So this authentication, you can go on setting and then do this kind of setting, and nobody will be able to access your account, even if they have your password, even if they have all the details, still they cannot access your account unless they have your device, because the confirmation code will be sent via SMS, right? Like via SIM card line. So unless they have your phone, like they have full control of your phone. But if they don't have full control of your phone and they try to log in on your account, they cannot be able to access your information on multi-factor authentication. So there's two multi-factor authentication and three multi-factor authentication, of where it can be through WhatsApp, also via SMS, and also their authentication apps. I don't know for those who try to verify their LinkedIn account. There will also one apps for you to do the authentication. I don't know if you guys come across that. And also the biometric verification, like where it needs your fingerprints, right? It needs touches on the screen, or maybe like where like the fingerprint sort of things. Also on the hardware security keys, right? This where like it will require now basically security, like you make sure that there's nobody get access to it. Yeah. So why does this matter when we talk of multi-factor authentication? It prevents an authorized access. Like I talked of it, even if somebody has your account and you do the setting on multi-factor authentication, it will make sure that whenever somebody logs into your account, it will block them. It will has to be verified first. They will send you that kind of a code for you to verify whether you are the actual person. And also protect accounts even if password is stolen. You understand? That's what I was talking about. Even if your password is stolen, still nobody will have access to your account. So when we talk of digital hygiene, like I talked of it earlier, like how can you go online safely, right? The habits that we can use for us to be safer online. So good of digital hygiene that you can make. Always make sure you update the software. But there's also one risk when you're updating a software. Mostly when you update a software, it also updates some bugs in it. I don't know if you've ever realized when you update your phone or your software, it becomes now worse than before. Right. So make sure that when you're updating a software, you make sure it's the right version that you are updating. It's not a different one. Because when you upload a different one, it will come with a different bugs and your system becomes slow. Install security patches, right? If you're using a computer, there's the Windows securities that you can use, right? Use antivirus protection, right? When you talk of antivirus protection, like even in computers, for those who are familiar or maybe use computers, there's Windows, right? Windows security, of which it's provided by the software, it's by Windows. It's there, and also you can have it, another one, like I don't know how many of you use, like most of antivirus are not also safer. Don't just download any, or maybe go to any computer center and then they install you any antivirus. There are also antivirus that come with viruses, and it will affect your computer. So avoid suspicious downloads, right? Don't just download anything you see there online. I talked of bad guys before. They do all kind of tricks. Even when downloading a file, they will make sure they attach a ransomware. They always make sure they attach a spyware. When you download that, it will affect your computer, and you find your computer being hacked within a minute because of a file you downloaded. Logging out from shared devices, even you're using a different device, always make sure you log out from that phone, or you're giving it out to anybody. Sometimes you sell your phone and then you forget that your accounts are still in. You never logged out account, and then your information gets leaked. Backup important files, of course. Always backup information files that you have. Make sure that you have a plan B, you have something that you can fall back after when you lose all these files. Review apps permissions, right? There are always apps permission. Any apps nowadays, it has a setting of which you first have to go through it. You will have to block some of activities if you don't want, like for instance, notification. If you don't want anybody to like notification to appear on a screen, you can also block that. Remove unused application. If you are not using any apps on your phone, also make sure you remove such apps, because there are many also hackers who develop some like software engineer who are also hackers. They develop some kinds of application and then share them when you download them, and your phone will be easily have some issues. So safe device practices. When you're using your device, always make sure that you follow these activities, or maybe it become a habit for you to use this. for you to be safe. Lock devices with password. I don't know. I'm sure most of us right now, everybody's phone has a password, right? That's a good. It should be a practice, a good practice for you, because you have a sensitive information that can be leaked on somebody if you don't give it a lock. And also encrypt sensitive information. Mostly, I don't know, but this could be to ITs, for those who are from IT background. How do you encrypt? Like whenever you're sending a file, make sure you encrypt. Mostly I use PowerShell to encrypt files on my computer. Avoid using public Wi-Fi. If you're using a public Wi-Fi, always make sure you're using a VPN, because those Wi-Fis are not safe. Anybody can go there, anybody can be there. Always don't use any public. If you're using them, make sure you use them with VPN. Use secure and trusted network, not just any network, but you say people are using, or maybe it's faster, and then you try to use it. Don't do that. Disable Bluetooth when it's not in use. When you're not using the Bluetooth, it should be disabled, because hackers also can have access to your phone through Bluetooth. So make sure that Bluetooth is open whenever you want to access anything via it. Avoid connecting unknown. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever done that. Find a USB, maybe you cut it down and then you fix it on your computer and then try to check what's inside. You're curious about what's in the flash, what's in the USB. Don't just connect any USB defined and then you put it in a computer, because there are flashes that also hackers use. It looks like a flash, but when you insert it in your computer, it will reveal every information from your computer, and then they can access to them. When we talk of cybersecurity basics, of course, we have to make sure that we protect our information from like digital information, of course, the system that we use, the devices that we use, the network that we get connected to, the information that we have, they should be accessed by the intended person, right? And always make sure that they are not being accessed, they are not being attacked, they are not being damaged, or not being stolen. So that's basically when we talk about cybersecurity. So the common of them, we have this kind of threats that most bad guys use. Okay, they always have a malware. When we talk of malware, this also kind of aware. Like this aware they use, right? Like for them to use to have access to your information. Okay, it will, once you download a file and it has a malware, it will affect the computer. It will slow down a computer, and from there it will block any kind of activities that can support your device, and then it will have access to your device. Ransomware, from its name, right? Ransom. They make sure that they have access to your computer, and when they have access to a computer, they will block everything, and then they will ask for money for you to ransom your computer or your account. More especially nowadays, common on social media, spyware, from its name, spy, right? This ware you install in like if once it's in your computer, it will see every activity, every move that you make. For instance, if you are accessing your bank account, right, through your phone, and then it will see how like the trades you're using for you to have access to your computer, the current the credentials information, will have access to them. That's a where also you can get where when your account, or maybe when you get into hacking. So when we talk of social engineering, of course, it's just the same kind of a hacking, like a cyber threat. Make sure that they have access to your computer through a luring kind of information that they can use for them to have access. When we can also look into this principle, like in IT or in cybersecurity perspective, in the world of cybersecurity, like in every application that you have, in every like online activities that you do, like every account that you make, okay, they make sure that these three of principle of cybersecurity is good, because there's confidentiality. They make sure that every information is protected from anybody, but can be accessed by the intended person, right? So that's one of the principles. Second, it's integrity, ensuring that information, it should be accurate. Nothing has to be changed unless the access is granted by the person himself, like the intended person. For instance, if you want to change your password, then you have to go through verification for you to make sure for you to change this. Also availability, ensuring that system information remain like access to the intended person. So in cybersecurity, we call it CIA. That's how the principle should go for, or maybe online principle for any app that you have access or any account that you access. So how do you know this is scam? How do you know this is a phishing attack, right? Because these are very common nowadays. They send you a phishing email. They can send you a scams, right? Like it's scam. It's really common on social media or online. Okay, so when we talk of phishing, yes, it's a cyber attack. Actually, it's a cyber attack where the bad guys they use sort of information, or they use impersonation, like they use information that real, okay, but just to steal somebody information. You understand? So, like I talked of cloning somebody's voice, cloning somebody's pictures. Okay, in the race of AI, you can be able to clone somebody's voice. You can be able to clone a video, like just make a real, like just an image of a person, and then you can make a video call with somebody. And then they will think that's you, and then this comes, right? So attackers always target, like their main targets, always they make sure that they want your credential information, the sensitive information. Because once they have them, they can break through any kind of thoughts that they really want, or maybe they intend to harm. Okay? They make sure that they want password, banking information, personal data, security codes, login credentials. So that's the aim of them. That's why they always make sure they have this information, just to steal. And they use the right way, like they impersonate. You will even be convinced of what you're getting yourself into. So warning of the signs of scams, right? Be cautious of the messages that, because what I know about scam, and I've come across many of them, and I'm sure most of you, as you guys are hearing me right now, I know you must have gone one of the scenarios of being scammed. Okay. So I just want us to go through this, and you understand that whenever scam it's on the way, this often happened. They always create agency. They make you panic, right? They make you like you can act right now, like because it makes them, because like we talked of multi-factor authentication, right? Because in multi-factor authentication, it also gives kind of duration, like it gives you a length of period, some kinds of minutes, like for you to verify. Because if you delay, and then it will expire, and then no transaction being made. So they will make sure that they create panic and urgency for you to react immediately. Especially if they are requesting for the passport or maybe a verification code, because it doesn't last for more than a minute. They request password verification codes. Yeah, that's what they always do. Kind of scams. Just know that it's a scam when they request for agency, like for password or verification code. Promise and realistic rewards, right? They can promise you like they're going to pay 3 million when you pay them 5,000. Like, why paying you by paying them and then paying you back? Does it really make sense? Like they wanted you to pay some amount, when after accessing, maybe going through that process, and then they can pay you more than that. It's crazy, right? So content, like it's spelling or grammar mistake. Yeah, they always have mistakes whenever they are, because when they're creating this kind of phishing, they'll make sure that those things are, there's not always realistic, like it's always fake. They always use suspicious link. I'm gonna walk you through some website that you can always make sure for you to check whether the link is malicious. It's safe for you to maybe click. Don't click any link, just anyhow being sent to you. Like even they're going to the extent, like just one click and everything will be. There's also a zero click architecture that's already in place now. They can just send this malicious file of things. You don't even have to click anything. And then you get a server on your phone. There's also another sort of architecture that they're really working on. Cyber attackers. They request for confidential information. Of course, there's sensitive information. Come from a known sender. You find the email, it's even known. It's not like the email address. It's not even known, even if it's searched. So let me just give you this one of the sites that you can use. Okay. There's this it's called virtual total. It's also one of our sites that you can check. Here you can see the URL, right? If it is a link, and then you just paste the link here. What I know about most of the links that whenever you see it's HTTPC, like the protocol in network, we call it protocol. Whenever you see it's HTTP without the S, it means it's not secure. But when you see S, it's secure. But you don't also, when you see it's also secure, you should not be confident that it's safe. So that's why you also have these tools that for you to check. So when if it's a link, you paste it here, and then you do the search, and then it will show you whether it's a harmful one or not. And also when it is a file, you can also use this. It's a file. For emails, I think you can use this one. You call it, let me share this one with you. Also, this is for emails. You can just go through these links, and then it will definitely help you whenever you are curious about a link. Before you click it, make sure you first verify it. You don't just use anything that you see out there. So when we talk of professional and personal boundaries, right, online, why boundaries matters? Why do we make sure that we don't just be on social media for the sake of being on social media? Okay, there are things that can affect us. That's why we need to have a boundaries when we are on social media, when we are online. One of which, because it can affect careers, it can affect academics opportunities for students, like for instance, a scholarship. Okay, if they go back checking on your information on social media, and they find you are kind of an unlucky person, a kind of somebody that share negative information, of course you will lose that chance. Professional credibility, definitely you're gonna lose that. Organizational reputation, and also relationships, right? It can affect your spouse, like your partner, relationship, right? So maintaining appropriate boundaries also help us, like both, personal life and also professional image that we hold in a certain organization or institution. So for reputation, how can we handle that? So for us to make sure that we handle our reputation, we make sure that we monitor, we make sure what we are doing, what we are influencing, and also make sure we protect our information, right, from any individual, from any organization. Because once they perceive them, then we are done. Our reputation is what? We're going to lose it. So in this digital world, social media activities, online comments, interaction, shared photos, videos. I know most people on Facebook, TikTok, anywhere, they always make sure they post the information, like they post the information, like photos. And I talked of cloning somebody's photo, cloning somebody's voice. For those who are podcasting, for those who are doing content creation, your voice, it's there on social media. Somebody can crop it and then make use of it and then affect you, right? So handling online conflicts after now seeing your video, your image going viral, because they can edit an image of you. Just somebody wants to affect you, your reputation. Just want to, they wants you to get fired. Understand? And then they do kind of a lot of things, and then you gonna be fired in a month. So how can you handle such a situation when you come across one? So when you find such information, when you are into such conflicts, right? Because they can always escalate easily. Because we know social media, within a second, it goes viral like all over the world. It reaches within a second. So whenever we catch kind of scenarios, when you're into them, we can make sure that there are things that cause them. They are not just from nowhere, but there's a root cause of it. So these are the sorted roots that you can see: misunderstanding, emotional reaction, political and social debates, misinformation, cultural differences, anonymous interaction. So there's always that common something that leads to it. Understand? So when it leads to such, how do we handle that responsibly? So for us to handle it, responsibility, when you see online, don't panic, don't react. Always give it a time, think, pause for a moment, right? Because the more you think, the more it gives you a clearer reaction, it gives you the calm, professional way of handling it. Verify information, of course. Don't just like initially, like when you see it and then you overreact to it. Always verify, is it the right source? Where's the source coming from? Who does this? Communicate respectfully. Focus on solution. Know when the listener, like this are the ways for you to act whenever you come across that kind of situations. Data protection fundamentals, right? When we talk of data protection, for those working for organization, government, institution, like I always make sure that data is protected. Why do we protect data? Because once they are leaked, company's reputation will be down, even there will be lost finances, of course. Because it will require you to ransom, maybe if it's a hacker who got this information, it will require ransom, of course. So we make sure that we safeguard our personal information. Organizational, it starts from us. We make sure we keep our information safe and also organization information. From who? Of course, we have unauthorized access. People always try to access every day because hackers always have sleepless nights because they want to be praised. They want to make sure that because not all of the hackers are bad people. Okay? They are also ethical hackers. They are those who make sure that they find the weakness of, for instance, a bank account or maybe an institution, right? They make sure that they see how safe are their data, how safe is the organization. So when they do this, they always ask for permission before doing it. So we protect them from theft. Of course, hard copy, like there are also hard copy kind of things that can be taken. Like for instance, data center, right? They make sure also being safe from theft and also being misused. That's also one of the things that we can make sure we have to protect our data. Loss, corruption. The common data risk that we can face today, like the protections, most people, like I talked of weak password, right? That's the key thing people go through nowadays. They make weak passwords. That's like making their own names password that can be predictable. Human error, like we human, we error so much. Like we do mistakes that can lead to destruction. Sending files to a wrong person, imagine you're sending, you did not even see, you did not even verify it, you did not even know how you're sending the intended person. That's an error. Sharing confidential information, why would you share that publicly? When you know when they have this information, they can access and ruin your reputation. Misconfiguring privacy for those like you don't know how to do the setting and then you mistakenly, that's also error. Malware and what cyber attacks. Of course, we are in era of where technology evolves and the rates also evolves. Malware every day, like even AI can create a malware that can be able to attack. So insider threats, even within the company, there are those also who are careless employees. They do things intentionally, they don't care. The carelessness can cost you. So how can we make sure we protect our data, verify the recipient in order for you not to send any information just to anybody you don't know? Use secure platforms, like platform that you know that people access them. Even people stubbornly go to the dark web. Because right now we are the surface web. For us, we do our own things. All these things we are doing on social media, we are the surface web. We call it the surface web. There are those also intentionally go to the dark web. And dark web, that's really the hell. It's not easy for those who always visit. But I know those who always visit, they use some protective kind of platforms in order for them to access the dark web. Avoid public Wi-Fi, which is common. We see there's no password and then we connect immediately. It could be a setup because hackers also do that. They set up any network and then there's no password. So make sure you don't just connect. If you do, use a VPN. You'll be better. It will protect you. Restrict unnecessary sharing, of course. Now the key takeaway of this session today. Okay. I just want you to think before you post. Just take that, put it at the back of your mind. Every information you post out there, you will be accountable for it one day, and it will affect you, and you will regret it in the future. Protect your privacy, personal information. Don't share anything else online. Just not anything you share online, because the cybersecurity habits increase nowadays. Everything increases. The more technology grows, the more crimes, the more hackers also, because they know very well online is where people are now, like majority of people use, and children, those illiterates in digital, easily be affected. Not everything online is trustworthy. They don't believe anything you see online. There are misinformation. People spread information. Make sure how do you recognize scams and also phishing emails. I'm going to share with you some of the websites that you can learn how you can be able to see, and also I've given you some sites that you can check whether this is scam or not. Like for instance, link for phishing emails. I'm going to give you one, and then you will easily know it's a phishing email. From even the sender, you know that it's from anonymous sender. It's not even known. There's always errors from the email, and they give you a link that's not clean, right? Like it's always malicious. Maintain professionalism and respect in all online interaction. Maintain that you are professional. Some of you are working for a big organization. Some of you are also the spirits of which are going to be professionals one day. They're going to be so working for a certain organization, right? So your line reputation, it's an asset. Whenever you are online, make something of it. Because online, you can spread information, you can learn, you can teach, you can make money. Very soon, social is going to be monetized. If you're into content creation, make sure what you share, it's something beneficial, you're doing the right thing. Okay. So in conclusion to this, I'm going to tell you that digital world is both powerful and powerful opportunity, a serious responsibility. Social media and online platforms have transformed the way we communicate today, the way we learn, the way we work, the way we connect with others. However, alongside these benefits comes risk that can affect our privacy, honestly. The security, the reputation that we have, the relationship. You might be married, can affect you. Your voice being clowned. You see photos of your wife, photos of your husband being shared with another woman. And so they can clone all those things and they can make them. But how do you react to such things? Future opportunities for anybody. You apply one day and then they check your background, they find that you have a bad reputation, you have a bad hygiene, like social media. So I'm going to tell you that every action we take online leaves a mark. It leaves a trace, okay? A single post, message, password, or click can either protect us or expose us to danger. So this is why digital awareness is really important. That's why we make sure we make this awareness to everybody. Because responsible online behavior are essential in every aspect of life, in every career, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a nurse, just any career that you hold in today's society, you need to be aware of such. Throughout this presentation, I know we have covered most of the things. We talked of digital print, footprint shapes, how the world sees us. We also talked of privacy setting, digital hygiene, protect our personal information. I also give you some tips of cybersecurity practices that you can also make sure that you have keeps you away from the cyber attacks and also data theft. And also how you can recognize scams and phishing attempts. Maintaining the professional and also personal boundaries online to protect your reputation, to protect your credibility. Responsible communication, I'm telling you, it helps us reduce online conflicts and also cyber bullying. And I've seen in South Sudan, we are really facing all of this. Nowadays, just you see people fighting and then you crack your phone and then you start videoing and then you throw it there online. See, that's not good. You see also just anything that you see and then you capture and you send it online. Let's make sure we use online for the good use of it. We make sure what we are doing online is safer. So technology itself, it's neither good. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you. Technology to me, it's neither good nor bad. It's just like a knife. Okay, you can use knife to do a good thing, and you can also do it for bad. It depends how we use it. Seriously, internet can educate. It's good. It can educate you. It can empower you. It can even connect people across the world. You get to know somebody from Asia, from America, just online. But only when we use it responsibly and safely. Therefore, let us become responsible digital citizens, my people. This awareness today, there are those who do not get this information, but we're going to extend this, we're going to be ambassadors because we're going to help ourselves. Think before posting, protect your personal information, respect others online. Don't just comment anyhow just to hurt somebody. Verify information before sharing it. Just don't be like, you get information, then you share. You don't even know it's misinformation. Are you sure? Are you sharing it to others? Practice good cybersecurity habits I've shown you before. Use strong passwords. Don't share your credentials, information, sensitive information. Know which kind of attack that you're facing. Use social media to inspire, educate, and build positive communities. Okay. So I'm just gonna give you this one thing, and then we're off. Your online, I just wanted to remember this, okay? Your online presence is your digital reputation. Protect it with wisdom, responsibility, and integrity. Thank you for your attention and for giving me all this time and for listening. I know I've really done a lot, and I think I'm on time. So thank you guys for listening, and over to you, Brenda. I would also invite questions and discussions. I also welcome. So over to you, Brenda. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Samuel, for that presentation. I think we are exactly at 4, and we wouldn't want to take so much more time. I don't know if there's anyone that has any burning questions, they can do that. Just briefly before you go. If you have any comment, feedback, please feel free to share that.
Just allow me to, if there's no question, let me share you this link. This link, you can click on it, like it's developed by Google. It's kind of online self-learning. So it teaches you how you can be able to identify and know a phishing email. So it's really helpful. You can just go through it, and it gives you questions and also the answers. Gives you a phishing email, and then it will describe you what's wrong with the email and how you can be safe with it when you find yourself into that. You can check that. I have just shared
I've
the
put
link
the
there.
attendance.
Okay.
Yeah, the attendance is on the chat as well. If there are no questions or comments, I think we are good to go. Just fill in your attendance and feel free to exit the meeting. Thanks for your participation for today, and hope to see you again tomorrow.